Sound of a frantic 911 call, heavy breathing, muffled sobs, distorted voice. 911 operator. 911, what is your emergency? Caller panicked, she's gone. A half-eaten bowl of cereal. Sarah Jenkins always finished her breakfast. Her keys, her purse, her phone, all exactly where she'd left them. But Sarah wasn't there. Not in the house, not in the garden, not anywhere. For the small town of Willow Creek, Sarah was the sunshine. The librarian who knew everyone's favorite author, the baker whose lemon bars were legendary. She was predictable, dependable, and now she had simply vanished. Vanished into thin air, leaving only a chill that snaked through the quiet streets. Who takes a woman like Sarah? But what they didn't know was, her sister Emily was the first to feel it, a primal dread that gnawed at her gut. It wasn't Sarah, she whispered to the stunned officers, her voice barely a breath. Uniformed officers fanned out, combing the nearby woods, their flashlights cutting through the thick underbrush, dragging the shallow creek. Helicopters beat a rhythmic, futile search pattern overhead, a constant reminder of the growing despair. The initial theories were quick, a spontaneous trip, an unfortunate accident. But Sarah's car was still in the driveway, perfectly parked. No signs of forced entry. No struggle. Just an echoing silence where a vibrant life had been moments before. Years later, a phone call would reveal. Detectives focused on the obvious, the predictable paths. Her ex-husband, Mark, a man known for his quick temper, provided an ironclad alibi, backed by irrefutable security footage from his distant office. A former business associate, rumored to have a significant grudge, was also quickly cleared, miles away at a documented conference. Everywhere, the local news became a constant loop of Sarah's smiling face, desperate pleas from Emily, frantic calls for any scrap of information. Days bled into weeks, then months. The leads dried up. The tips stopped coming. The missing posters, once vibrant, began to fade, curling at the edges, symbols of a hope that was slowly dying. Willow Creek tried to forget, but the void Sarah left was a constant, insidious ache. The case went cold, chilling to the bone. And that's when investigators noticed something strange. Nobody knew what truly happened. But someone did. Someone was still watching them, hidden in plain sight. Scene start. The scent of honeysuckle clung to the humid air of Willow Creek, a sweet promise of summer evenings that Sarah cherished. Every Tuesday, without fail, she'd be out in her garden, hands plunged into the rich earth, coaxing life from reluctant seeds. Her laughter, bright and clear, often floated over the picket fence, a familiar soundtrack to Mrs. Henderson's afternoon tea. Sarah wasn't just tending roses. She was cultivating connections, a vibrant thread weaving through the quiet tapestry of their small town. She taught art at the local elementary school, her classroom a riot of finger paint and glitter. Her students adored her, their clumsy drawings of sunsets pinned proudly on her fridge door. She'd spend weekends hiking the sprawling trails of the Willow Creek Preserve, a battered camera always slung around her neck, capturing the fleeting beauty of a deer at dawn or sunlight dappling through ancient oaks. Life was a canvas, and Sarah painted it with bold strokes of joy and quiet contentment. Every morning she brewed coffee strong enough to wake the dead, then sat on her porch swing, watching the town slowly rouse itself. And that's when investigators noticed something strange. The same bluebird always landed on the railing, a tiny, loyal companion. She was the kind of person who remembered birthdays, who left anonymous bouquets of wildflowers on doorsteps when someone was feeling low. She believed in community, in looking out for one another. She organized the annual town picnic, her enthusiasm infectious, her spirit the bedrock of countless local fundraisers. Everyone knew Sarah. Everyone trusted Sarah. Her home, a charming bungalow on Elm Street with hydrangeas spilling onto the sidewalk, was always open, a haven of warmth and easy conversation. A shadow too long in the periphery of her vision. The faintest rustle in the bushes when no wind stirred. She'd dismiss it. A squirrel, a trick of the light. Willow Creek was safe. Nothing bad ever truly happened here. But what they didn't know was, not to people like Sarah. Yet a quiet unease would settle, a whisper of a feeling that she wasn't entirely alone on those late evening walks home from school. Her porch light, usually a beacon, sometimes felt more like a spotlight. She'd shake her head, laugh at herself. Old habits, maybe, from living alone too long. One warm evening, the scent of honeysuckle thick in the air, Sarah closed her kitchen window, a small, uncharacteristic click. She glanced out at the darkening street, then locked the deadbolt. A strange, fleeting shiver traced its way down her spine. The bluebird was gone from the railing. No idea that her life, so carefully cultivated, was about to be violently unpicked. And that she wouldn't be painting any more sunsets. Years later, a phone call would reveal. She glanced out at the darkening street, then locked the deadbolt. A strange, fleeting shiver traced its way down her spine. The bluebird was gone from the railing. The familiar sounds of the neighborhood seemed muted, distant. She turned, a half-smile playing on her lips, ready to unwind with a book. She had no idea how quickly that peace would shatter. No idea that her life, so carefully cultivated, was about to be violently unpicked. And that she wouldn't be painting any more sunsets. The next morning, a subtle chill hung in the air, a whisper of unease. Eleanor Vance's front door stood ajar. Not wide open, not forced. Just slightly, unnaturally ajar. Her neighbor, Martha Gables, noticed it first, walking her schnauzer Barnaby past the immaculate rose garden. Martha frowned. Eleanor was meticulously neat. And that's when investigators noticed something strange. This wasn't right. A quick tap on the door, then another. Something's wrong. Eleanor, she's not answering. Her door's open. It's never open. The dispatcher's calm voice couldn't soothe the prickle of fear spreading through Willow Creek. Soon sirens wailed, a mournful chorus shattering the morning quiet. Inside, the house was undisturbed. A half-finished cup of tea on the coffee table. A paperback novel face down on the sofa. The truth was hiding in plain sight. Her easel stood by the window, a canvas blank. No sign of Eleanor. No struggle. No forced entry. Just absence. The kind that screams loudest of all. Eleanor Vance, 52, was the heart of Willow Creek. She wasn't just beloved, she was known. Everyone knew Eleanor. And that's what made her vanishing so terrifying. Who would want to harm her? Why would she leave without a word, without her purse, her phone, her car still in the driveway? The questions hung heavy, unspoken, yet screamed from every shocked face. And that's when investigators noticed something strange. Nobody knew the true horror that was just beginning to unfold. Detectives arrived, their uniforms a stark contrast to the quiet, tree-lined street. Yellow tape, a garish ribbon, began to cordon off Eleanor's life. The initial sweep was methodical but frustrating. No fingerprints that didn't belong. No overturned furniture. Nothing stolen, seemingly. The lead detective, Robert Maxwell, a man weathered by years of small-town crime, walked through the serene home, his brow furrowed. "It's like she just evaporated," he muttered to his junior officer, Detective Anya Sharma. The first theories emerged quickly. A sudden illness. An accident. Elena was active but alone. But what they didn't know was, or perhaps a runaway. Sharma quickly dismissed that. Elena cherished her home, her garden, her community. Her passport was still in her desk drawer. Her beloved calico cat, Patches, usually a shadow, was nowhere to be found, adding another layer of unsettling mystery. Then came the harder theories. A random abduction. A break-in gone wrong. Their divorce, 5 years prior, had been messy, fueled by his infidelity. Arthur, now living 2 towns over, had an alibi as solid as stone. A documented business trip to Chicago. Flights, hotel receipts, conference attendance. He was miles away, leaving a gaping void in the jealous ex theory. Next, a disgruntled former student, Simon Finch, known for his erratic behavior. The next discovery changed everything. Simon, now in his late 20s, had a long-standing grudge from a failed art class. He was questioned, his apartment searched. He spent the night Elena disappeared at his mother's, playing video games. Another dead end. Willow Creek erupted. News vans descended like vultures, their satellite dishes glinting in the autumn sun. Elena's face, a smiling portrait from a garden club brochure, was plastered across every local channel. Neighbors whispered, their eyes darting, suspicion blooming like a noxious weed. Pressure mounted on Maxwell and Sharma. But the river yielded, only discarded tires and forgotten fishing lures. The woods, only the rustle of leaves. The next discovery changed everything. Slowly, agonizingly, the trail went cold. The flyers faded on lampposts. The news vans departed. The residents, once united in their fear, began to accept the unbearable truth. Nobody knew what truly happened to Elena Vance. And soon, it seemed, nobody would ever find out. Years crawled by. The vibrant memory of Elena Vance began to blur around the edges, like an old photograph left too long in the sun. Newspaper clippings chronicled the gradual silence. Missing art teacher case unsolved. Family pleads for information, 5 years on. Her empty house, once a beacon of warmth, became a somber monument, her rose garden overgrown, the lemon verbena wilting. Patches the calico was eventually found, thin and skittish, hiding in a neighbor's shed months later, a silent testament to Elena's absence. But not everyone forgot. Detective Anya Sharma, now a seasoned investigator, carried Elena's file like a heavy stone in her gut. She promised Elena's sister, Clara, that she would never give up. And that's when investigators noticed something strange. She'd run her fingers over Elena's smiling photo, reread the witness statements, the forensic reports that yielded nothing. The official police conclusion: presumed deceased, cause unknown, suspect unknown. But Sharma saw more. She saw the gaps, the silences. She knew there were questions the original investigation hadn't fully asked, or perhaps didn't want to hear. What if the answer wasn't out there, in the woods or the river? What if it had been much closer all along? Something hidden. Something in plain sight. She focused on the smallest details. The pristine condition of the house. The untouched tea. The blank canvas. It wasn't the scene of a struggle. It was the scene of an invitation. Or a carefully orchestrated illusion. The next discovery changed everything. But what if those whispers held more than just hot air? What if they were the faint echoes of a truth nobody dared to speak aloud? A truth about someone everyone thought they knew. A truth tucked away, just waiting to be uncovered.